Unicorns, favorite animal to little girls and business entrepreneurs alike. If you're starting a company, becoming a unicorn one day is the holy grail. It simply means that your company has reached a valuation of more than $1 billion, and it has done so before going public on the stock market. On the most recent list of all unicorns worldwide, there were exactly 1,170 companies. But which companies actually made it to the top of the list? Which companies are the most valuable privately held companies in the world? You're about to find out, because I'm gonna give you the top 5 most valuable unicorn companies in the world. And I can already tell you that most likely you won't be able to guess the number 1 spot. Place number 5 goes to an amazing company called Canva. Canva is a famous graphic design website. You can use it to create all sorts of social media content, and the nice thing about Canva is that a lot of their features are entirely for free. I, for example, use Canva to create the thumbnail of the video you're watching right now. It is fair to say though that Canva is the odd one out on this list of most valuable business unicorns. Personally, I was super surprised to see them that high on the list. Right now Canva has an annual turnover of more than $1 billion. I had no idea that they make that much money, especially because I never paid for any subscription there. Nonetheless, investors seem to think that Canva is just getting started, because their most recent valuation was at $40 billion. It's gonna be amazing to see what the future holds for Canva and if they can keep growing as quickly as they have. The 4th place on our list of most valuable unicorn companies in the world goes to the company Stripe. Stripe is the biggest fintech company in the world right now, valued at $95 billion. It was co-founded by the 2 brothers, Patrick and John Collison, who at some point, thanks to Stripe's enormous valuation, were the youngest self-made billionaires in the world. Since then, Stripe's valuation has only continued to go up and now has reached almost $100 billion. Each year there are rumors that this year will be the year that Stripe will finally go public, but so far it still hasn't happened. The Stripe business model is as simple as it is brilliant. They provide the checkout for a lot of online stores that you see. And with each transaction that goes through their checkout, they get a small cut of the amount that is being transferred. This is a truly brilliant business model. Just consider how many billions are being transacted online every single day. Even if Stripe just gets a tiny fraction of 1% of that amount, they still make boatloads of money. Which is exactly what happened last year, where they made $7.4 billion in revenue, which is of course the reason why Stripe is as high on this unicorn list as they are. There are, however, 3 companies that are ranked even higher, and we're gonna get to them in a minute. But before that, make sure to subscribe to this channel if you want to get more videos just like this one in the future. Alright, we have reached the 3rd place on our unicorn list, and this one goes to Shein. Shein is an online clothing company from China, and I think it's fair to say that they pretty much came out of nowhere. Even though they were founded already back in 2008, until 4 or 5 years ago, almost nobody had ever heard of this company, at least not outside of China. That has changed dramatically though. Nowadays Shein is one of the 3 most valuable non-listed companies in the world, valued at a staggering $100 billion. It is one of those business stories that only seem to be possible in China nowadays. They are shipping to 200 countries worldwide and are the largest fashion retailer in the world. Shein has more than 100,000 employees, and while they are currently not involved in the design of the clothing or the manufacturing, they pay a lot of attention to being able to deliver around the world as quickly as possible. It is a company that understands better than most how young consumers nowadays think and shop. And that is a huge advantage that Shein continues to use as leverage when it comes to marketing, when it comes to selling, and when it comes to actually delivering the products. It has allowed Shein to grow from a company that was valued at $10 billion in 2020 to a company that now in 2022 is valued at $100 billion. We can safely say that Shein is a force to be reckoned with in the upcoming years of e-commerce competition. Moving on from a company that does fast fashion to a company that does almost the exact opposite. Number 2 on our list of most valuable unicorns is SpaceX. SpaceX, of course, is the space company founded and still run by Elon Musk. It has the ultimate goal to put people on Mars, but in the meantime, to make ends meet, it commercially flies satellites of other companies out into space. It's a pretty badass line of work to be in, and in the past SpaceX has continuously made headlines. What I personally like about SpaceX is that it doesn't just settle for the status quo. Instead, it continues to push the frontier of what is possible in space technology. And while people tend to have different opinions on whether or not it's really necessary to fly people to Mars and establish a colony there, I think we all would tune in once that expedition is being broadcasted. So I for one can't wait for SpaceX to make that happen. Right now, SpaceX is valued at a whopping 127 billion US dollars, close to half of which is owned by Elon Musk. So this extremely high valuation of SpaceX is a huge contributor to the net worth of Elon Musk, which currently makes him the richest man on Earth. There's only one private company that is worth even more than SpaceX, and it is not an American one, but another Chinese company. It is called ByteDance. Now I could imagine that a lot of you have no idea what the hell ByteDance is. And before I tell you what they do exactly, here are just a few numbers. They have about 110,000 employees, 58 billion US dollars in revenue just the last year, and are currently valued at 140 billion US dollars. So what on earth does ByteDance do? Well, ByteDance is the company that develops and owns TikTok. TikTok is yet another phenomenon coming out of China and coming pretty much out of nowhere. Of course, nowadays TikTok is a little bit more established in the social media sphere, but when they first burst onto the scene back in 2018, it was astonishing to see how quickly they grew and worldwide made an impact. TikTok has reached more than 2.6 billion downloads by now, which means that 1 out of 3 people worldwide has TikTok on their phone. It's crazy numbers, and there's really no end to this growth in sight, which of course explains why ByteDance is as highly valued as it is on this list. It will of course be interesting to see if at some point they will do an IPO. I would not be surprised if they did, but right now they're laying low on that. So there you have it, the 5 most valuable unicorn companies in the world right now. Not surprisingly, this list will continuously keep changing. There's gonna be new companies bursting onto the scene. Others might lose a little bit of their valuation or might go public. But either way, I'm excited to see how this list will change going forward. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you in the next video.